I was looking for the password.
Yeah, it's a super secure password, so you have to look it up each time.
Those are the best.
Hello.
Jeff, you're not on the list. We're also waiting for Jonathan. Oh, yeah, I stand corrected. You are on the list. Well done.
Just in time. I apologize if there are any connection issues. I am working from the car dealership today, getting the old minivan serviced. So, yeah. Hey, Vanessa.
Yeah. Also, my connection. Well, my connection should be fine. Actually, I'm in the office. So.
Martin, do you know if Jonathan's still planning to attend?
Jonathan? No. What did you say? Sorry.
Yeah, Jonathan Rayner, also at Apollo.
Yeah, let me think. All right, he's pinged.
All right, well, in the interest of time, unless someone else would like to host, I'm happy to kick us off. All right, I'll go ahead. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the September Community Working Group. By being here, we have all agreed to the specification membership agreement, the participation guidelines, the contribution guide, the code of conduct, and we're all aware that these meetings are being recorded, published to YouTube, and that large language models / AI summary tools are being used with them. We'll start with a quick introduction of attendees, which we'll do in the order that we are in the agenda file, but I'll start with myself anyway. So hello, everyone. My name is Benji.
And we have no Jonathan today. I apologize, he cannot make it last minute. So I am Martin from Apollo.
I'm Jem. I work with Benji at Graphile.
I work at the New York Times.
Hey, I'm Jeff from Apollo.
Go for it, Ari.
Hi, I'm Oi from Beagle.
Fantastic. And we normally these days rely on the AI to take notes for us, but there is a live notes document linked in the agenda. So if anyone wants to contribute to that, especially if it's things that we don't think the AI is going to pick up on so well, that would be very welcome. Uri, can I hand over to you to run the rest of the agenda, or do you want me to keep going?
Sorry, I was we're in holidays here. If you can run this today, it will be great. And I might take over. I'm just reading now, and I'm sending also a PR to it myself. So sorry about being delayed. If you can, please do. Thanks.
Yep, no worries. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a quick review of the agenda. So we're going to check over any ready for review agenda items. We're then going to have a little talk about GraphQL Day at API Days Paris, for which the CFP closes on October 12th. We're going to talk about FOSDEM, which is coming up in end of January, beginning of February next year. An update about the Ambassadors Program, and about the Google Summer of Code participation idea. Is there anything else that anyone would like to add to the agenda for discussion today? No, fantastic. Well, in which case, I'm going to kick us off by looking through any ready to review agenda items. There are no ready for review agenda items, so that's good. We can move on. So on to GraphQL Day at API Days Paris. This hasn't been attributed to anyone. Who was going to talk about this?
I think I put this. Sorry about it. Yeah,
Over to you, Martin.
forgot to put my name there. All right. So API Days is confirmed. I'm going to share the link here and share my screen. All right. So it's a 3-day event in Paris, in December 9th to 11th. But the GraphQL content is only going to be on the last day, on the 11th. If you've been there already 2 years ago, we had this huge room for the GraphQL community. This year is going to be a lot smaller and I think a lot more reasonable. We are probably going to have a room that is looking something like this, can hold between 100, 150 people, something like this. What else? Yeah, I can share the link to the photos if you're interested. If I can find the chat. We have a website thanks to Piotr. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Is it Peter Piotr? Uri, do you know how to pronounce it?
I say Piotr, but like I'm not sure
Piotr.
I'm right. Nothing will. My guess is as good as yours.
It's Polish, right?
Yeah, Polish.
So you can go to, he did most of the website. You can go to graphql.day and have all the details. This is a community event that is hosted by API Day. So they just give us the room and then we can do whatever we want with it. There is a CFP. CFP goes to their global CFP because they need to register everyone, all the speakers. So it's here. Well, if you go there, be sure to select API Days. There's a bunch of questions after that. And the important thing is, as you said, Benji, CFP closes in, well, a little bit more than 2 weeks. So if you know any people who would be good candidates to talk, now is the time to reach out. We can probably move that a little bit, but I think it's also good for speakers to have a date quite soon if they need to arrange travel or anything like this. What else is there? I'll be the local here. I live in Paris, if you don't know me, so I'll be there. It's in La Défense, which is the business district of Paris. And I think that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Oh, we have a dedicated channel on the Discord named GraphQL Day at API Days, something like this.
Awesome, sounds exciting. Few standard questions. How long are the speaking sessions and how many speaking sessions are we looking to fill?
It's up to us, really. I think, well, actually, let me dive into that. Well, maybe not right now. If you go to the CFP, you have all the different options. They have lightning talks, which are between 15 or 20 minutes, and regular sessions, which are 40 minutes. And the best, there are keynotes in the morning, so the agenda wouldn't start until 10 a.m. or something like this. I think this is all very negotiable. Like if we have a lot of content and we want to start at 9 a.m., we probably can run the track in parallel with the keynote. But I think filling from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. would be good or something like this. So like 2 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the afternoon, something like this. 5 hours of content.
Cool. And if someone wanted to attend just the GraphQL Day, do they need to buy a full API Days ticket or just a one-day ticket?
Yes, that's a very good observation. Anyone contributing either by attending the API standard booth or helping with the CFP will get a free ticket. If not, you have tickets online. I don't think they have one-day ticket, but as always, we can probably ask.
So on the subject of CFPs, then, do we need a team of volunteers for that, or is that all the central team looking at those?
Nope, we need a team of volunteers. We definitely need a team of volunteers. Yeah, I don't know, 3, 4 people would be nice, something like this. If there are more, the more the merrier, of course. What I can do is I'll open an issue on the community working group GitHub and ask for volunteers here, unless we have another way to do this.
Do you happen to know if the CFP process is like somewhat similar to what we did for GraphQL Conf, or is it different? Like,
I think it's up to us. Given the timelines, I would say it's probably going to be tough to make it exactly like the one we did for GraphQL Conf. So maybe aim for something a bit more streamlined. I'm not sure we can recruit SMEs. Actually, we have what? October, November, December, 3 months. If we start now, maybe we can do it. But we really need to start now.
Sorry, with it being so soon, we also want to get that schedule announced in time for people to, like, get tickets to travel and stuff like that. So I think we should aim, once CFP closes, within a couple of weeks to have pinned down those talks, really. So yeah, I think a streamlined process makes sense. And also, with it only being the one day, what we're looking to pick, 8 talks, something like that, is it? So it shouldn't be as much as picking like 80 talks like we did for GraphQL Conf. So I think a much more streamlined form should be fine.
Yeah, I think so too. If there are no other questions, let's continue the discussion. I think on GitHub. GitHub is the first source of truth. And for like informal chat, we have the Discord as well. Feel free to reach out anytime.
Awesome, sounds good. Ari, I'm happy if you want to take over at this point, or...
Which points?
That's okay. Ari's giving me just pause a second whilst he figures out his unmute, I think. I'll carry us on anyway. Jem, you added a topic about FOSDEM 2026. Do you want to kick that off?
Yeah, so we are at the beginning of organising for FOSDEM. If you don't know, FOSDEM is one of the largest, if not the largest, get-together of open source community in Europe. We're looking at usually between 8,000 and 10,000 software developers all meeting up in Brussels in a university there. It's huge, it's great for visibility, and one of the things they do, they call dev rooms, which are essentially like mini conference tracks. For the last couple of years, there has been an API, what they've called API Friends track, focusing mainly on GraphQL, async API, and Open API. Last year was quite successful. We had a half day of, was it 6 talks, I think, across the 3 technologies, and a number of those talks were about mixing up the 2 technologies as well. So it was good. We've had some good feedback. So we want to know, do we want to do it again? FOSDEM itself is the last weekend of January. I think it sits on the 31st to the 1st of January in Brussels. But if we want a dev room again, the closing date for a dev room submission is, I think it's the 12th of October. it's quite soon. Our main organizer can't do it this year. He's the one that's been putting in the applications and organizing everyone, and he's done it for the last 2 or 3 years. He can't do it this year, so we would need a strong team and someone to sort of champion this through. It also involves working with folks from the other API standards who some of us know because we've been going to some events with them throughout the last couple of years as well. So I just thought I would point out that if we want to do it again, now is the time to submit an application.
How was the experience in previous years?
It's a really good event. Benji and I have been a few years, sort of 2018 and 19, we went representing our own project, and then this January we went representing GraphQL as well. And the awareness of GraphQL now is a lot higher. People have at least heard of it before. So I think the focus will be on educating that it's not just an alternative to REST, rather than introducing people to it completely new.
The vibes are, if I may say, quite the opposite of the API Days vibes.
Yes.
Like one of them is very commercial, the other one is very community oriented. Like it's free to attend. It's very decentralized. They are really putting the emphasis on copyleft, open source, and all this
Yes.
kind of stuff.
It's a 25-year-old event, so when you go, it feels very much like the older original view of open source. Although it's starting to shift, and people do start asking, well, how is this funded? Do you have staff? Which is only something we've heard in the last couple of years. So you do get some folks that are newer to open source and looking at it that way as well there.
One of the great things about FOSDEM, is it's free to attend, which means you get a ridiculously large number of attendees. I think it was like 8,000. And B, mostly what it is a whole bunch of like classrooms with talks in, and they're like literally classrooms, like 30 to 50 people, something like that. I don't know what the actual numbers are. And then just booths. Just the entire university campus has been essentially taken up with, every wall has been turned into a series of booths, and they're just normal sized tables. And there's like a few people that maintain that project behind each booth. And you can go and talk to anyone at any of these booths. You can pick up stickers, you can pick up sweets, you can buy little open source things. So the community is much more like engaged. People literally come up to your table and are like, tell me about your thing. Like, what is your thing? They're really, really like, they are there literally to talk to the booths. Unlike at many conferences where you're there to specifically to watch the talks, and the booths are an additional thing. So I think the booths at FOSDEM, like I always come back with like a sore throat from just spending the entire day talking to people constantly. It's really, really engaged. And I think if we're to do FOSDEM again next year, we essentially need to decide now, do we want to do it with a booth for GraphQL Foundation, or GraphQL Foundation in combination with another project? Do we want to do a dev room? Do we want to join the API Friends table and have an API Friends table, or do we want to do a combination of these? Last year was the first time that we did a combination. So we did the GraphQL Foundation and Graphile table, as Jem said, and we also did a dev room. And I think that was probably the most effort. If we picked just one of those things, it would have been a lot less effort. And to be honest, turning up and doing a booth is literally, you turn up with a tablecloth and any stickers and cheat sheets you want to give away, you slap it down on the table, you talk to people for 2 days, and then you pack it all up and go home. It's minimal effort if you get approved. The dev rooms are obviously a somewhat more effort because you now need to manage like a CFP, and there's a lot more stuff to it. So if we're unsure, if we don't have the resources, I'd love to just like encourage someone to go and do the booth there for minimal effort. and also just it's a great experience. Like FOSDEM, especially if you love open source, FOSDEM is amazing, and you go get to talk to all these projects that you do, like Home Assistant that runs the automations in our house. We can go and talk to the people who write it. Fantastic. Okay, I'll move us on from that to the ambassadors update. So back to you again, Jem.
Yeah, I just thought this would be a nice place to just feedback about the ambassador scheme, because it was one of the very first things this community group was working on back in February, March time. So we have successfully launched that now. We launched it on stage at the conference. We have currently 19 ambassadors. We had our first onboarding call this week. We've got another one to hit the opposite time zone next week. They all seem very engaged. Our first onboarding call already generated lots of ideas, including an idea for a new framework. So they're very keen and enthusiastic, and hopefully it's going to shape up to be a really cool program. We've also got about 10 applications for further ambassadors to look at around November time as well. So it's good. And I just thought I'd give some feedback on something this working group has managed to achieve.
Awesome, thanks. And of course, we should be encouraging more ambassadors to apply for the next batch, which I think we'll be reviewing come December time. So if you can encourage any colleagues or open source people or people running events to submit their applications, or if you want to nominate people as well, please do that before, well, anytime, literally anytime, because we plan to review it quarterly, but especially before December for the next batch. Cool. Finally, we have the Google Summer of Code participation idea. That's not attributed. Who added that one to the agenda?
It's for me.
That's from you, Vanessa. Over to you.
Yes. So I actually participated in Google Summer of Code this past summer, which was cool to contribute to open source projects. So I thought that I had looked and I saw like the foundation did it like years before. Maybe 1 year. I don't recall how many years you guys did it, but I thought it'd be a good idea to incorporate like some type of project to like, attract more contributors to like the GraphQL space. So I think I talked to Jeff a little bit about it before, but my presentation was about like embedding accessibility information into GraphQL, and then I like put together like a little repo of like a demo. So that could be an idea, and then I had some ideas of like what contributors could do to contribute to that, but just throwing out ideas for right now.
Do you know what the deadline is to apply as like there's a whole process, right? I think it starts at the beginning of the year or something like this.
Yes, I don't necessarily know the deadline for organizations. I think it might be either January or February, something like that. I think they announced organizations, or they announced them. I think it was in February or March. And then they gave a month to contributors to apply to whatever project they found interesting. But I think maybe like January or end of January, early February.
And contributors are students, right? Like,
It could be,
or could it be anyone?
it would be anyone. It would be students or anyone new to open source. So if you've maybe done open source like a year, maybe less than a year, you can still apply.
You need to delete your GitHub repo before applying.
I mean, I guess, yeah, you could do something like that,
Right.
but I don't think you'd want to do that. But yeah, so it used to be only for students, I think, but I think maybe like past years they've opened it up to people that haven't done open source before. So that's like another avenue or like a realm of people.
That's cool.
So
really cool.
If I remember correctly, the Google Summer of Code, like one of the key things that we if we're applying for it, would need to offer is mentorship in some form, right? We would need to guide these contributions. Do you know more details about what the process there, or what exactly would be required?
I don't know from a mentor standpoint, but when like my process going through it, I met with my mentors weekly. I guess you set up like a type of cadence that's good for you. So, but my mentors were based, I don't know where exactly they were based, but it was a 6-hour time difference. So it was just like in the proposals that you people send in, they also put like the time difference to see if like it's even feasible to have like the meetings. So and then you can meet with them previously like to submission, depending on like how many people they have to meet with. But then because my contributions were to Gradle, so I did it through the Kotlin Foundation. So I met with some of them in like the Slack channels, and then I did like a Google Meet call, and then we met there. I don't know how many other people they met with, but it was just like extra steps, I guess.
Okay, sounds great. So I guess the next step for us would be, if we want to push this forward, we need to find people who are willing to do the mentoring. And then if we can get some commitment from some mentors, then we can submit an application and then hopefully get more contributions. Is anyone aware of anything else that we need to do, certainly in the next month or so, to get this rolling?
Does it require any, I think maybe not, but any signed agreement from the foundation or something like this? Probably.
I can look into it, but yeah, I don't know much about like from the organization standpoint. I just know from like contributor, probably like some of the mentor stuff. But yeah, I think you have to like pick. I don't know how many projects is per organization, but you can pick like however many projects and then assign mentors to each one of those. And then you can have like maybe I think they have like suggestions of what the projects could be, and then versus if it's like small, medium, or large, and how many hours each of those would take.
Yeah, I'm sure that wouldn't be an obstacle. We could just bring it up in one of the committee meetings and make sure everybody's aware of it. Yeah, I mean, I think that we're looking for folks to raise their hand to be mentors too. Always put out a call in social media accounts as well. Yeah,
I mean,
love to see this get off the ground.
depending on what the project is, I would be open to be a mentor.
Awesome. Okay. We already got a volunteer.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What would you be interested in mentoring, Vanessa?
I guess it depends on like what the project choices are. So if I have like some ground in that area, then I'd be happy to do it. But yeah, so I think when I was talking to Jeff, it was like the repo that I had made. So if that was one of the projects, then like I would know more about that, or have more basis or like more of a foundation in it to actually be useful as a mentor.
Cool. I just want to welcome Taz, who's just joined the call. Welcome, Taz. Do you want to introduce yourself for a second? Just real quick.
Hey, I'm Taz, and so been using GraphQL since 2016. Currently working on Guild.host, which thankfully London GraphQL is on, and I guess GraphQL Paris as well. So happy to be here, and looking forward to chatting more.
Awesome. Cheers, Taz. Okay, so next steps for the Google Summer of Code. I guess if someone here wants to represent it at the board, do we have a volunteer for that?
Well, sorry, you cut out for a moment for me. Repeat that.
Oh, sorry. I was saying we need someone to raise this at the board to basically present to the board, hey, we'd love to do this. Someone needs to sign the paperwork.
Sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. So Jeff,
if
we assign that to you, and then also in parallel, I think we should try and find some volunteers to be mentors as well. So I guess we could raise that at some of the working group meetings. I'm let's get board sign off first, and then I'll raise some issues across all the various working groups and basically say we're looking at doing this. Who wants to help? Who would like contributions? And then we'll go from there. Does that sound like a plan?
To the board, maybe we can start with an email even. Like, my guess is that it could be authorized sooner without waiting for the meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Is this already an issue in our community working group? No. We can make one. I just thought it might be nice to just keep a note.
I think I opened something a while ago. I opened something in 2025 just when we missed the deadline to be an organizer, and I'm like, we should do something next year. Let me see if I can find it. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you,
it's
Benjamin.
issue 35. I've put it in the chat. Okay, yeah, excellent. Thank you, Vanessa, for the nudge on that front and the encouragement that it will be a valuable thing to do. Certainly something that we should look into more. We are now at the end of the agenda. Taz, I wonder, did you come with anything in mind that you wanted to discuss?
I had a question for Taz, actually.
Yeah, Martin had a question for me, and he's like, join the call. I'm like, okay. So very last minute, but yeah, happy to answer any questions.
Can we reorder events in Guild.host in not the event, the presentation? In an event, you have several presentations. I have created 3 of them. I want to reorder them. Is that possible?
Not at the moment. So we'll be launching some more schedule features for events, and so basically gearing up for conferences. So for a conference, you need a schedule, you need all those different types of things, and we'll be launching that feature alongside scheduling.
Nice. Do you have a place where we should send you this kind of feedback or discuss this?
Yeah, you can just Slack me. Essentially, now you have me on Slack. I think all of you have me on Slack.
Yes.
I'm on the GraphQL Community Leaders Slack. Or just email us to hi@guild.host, and yeah, we respond to all of them. So
thank you, and thank you for working on this. It's so cool.
Of course, yeah. Thanks to GraphQL for making it possible.
Uri, did you have any final items? Particularly, I know you've all been doing a lot of work on the website recently. Is there any more input needed?
Yeah, so I still didn't have time to update on the issue. Martin, I saw you tagged me. So we released the landing page, but we continue on to the rest of the website. So that means like reorganizing the learn section, the community section, all the resources. There's a lot on the designs. I will share hopefully next week, because I want to get everyone's opinion on the rest of the stuff. I think there's important improvements there. Like some, for example, is how we organize the content. Today, for example, we have all the videos of the conferences just per conference. So we are doing some like all kinds of pages to float the content in new ways. For example, let's say we have a page for front end, and then there's like it brings all the content from all the websites related to front end. So like the learn section, stuff that are already in the learn section, certain libraries that are related to front end, and then also all the talks and videos that are related to front end, all under one page. So I will share more soon, and then it's all the design already out. I just need to like post it so everyone can give feedback on that. Another area is everything around conferences and events, like the events and conferences page, like to see that we have that the design is aligned with what everyone here wants to show or to demonstrate. Like we have obviously GraphQL Conf, but we have other conferences as well, and we have the local meetup groups. And yeah, so I want to make sure that the new design basically has everything we want it to have. So I'll share soon. I'll probably open specific issues for each type of page or content, and then but I'll link everything to the original issue of the website. So yeah, probably early next week I will create the issues for all of those. Yeah, but we're keeping on progressing and working on it. Yeah, so I hope to share everything soon and get all your feedback. But if you already have ideas or things that you think we should put there that you think is not written anywhere, let me know or write it somewhere. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention, Uri, that Sahaj at GraphQLConf was asking me about our APIs and trying to automate a bunch of that as much as possible. If it helps, yeah, feel free to just message me about that as well. As you know, we have events, we have presentations, and what we're doing right now is indexing everything for search. And so if you want just front-end GraphQL, we're able to build an API that you can just type in front-end GraphQL. I'll give you all the presentations for that. So if that's helpful, we can try to automate a lot of that.
Yes, that will be super helpful, and even just your ideas on the design itself. Like as someone who actually works every day with events and like try to float, the right events to users, I'm sure you have a lot of good feedback there.
Do I remember correctly that Taz, you were saying that you should be able to do that for other platforms as well, or was it just Guild? I can't quite remember.
For the API, you mean? Yeah, so we have the ability to mirror meetup events onto Guild. And so once you mirror meetup into Guild, then you can just use our same API to grab everything. We don't have the capability right now to mirror everything else on there. Like meetup is the main one that we get asked about. So we just built the ability to mirror meetup into Guild. And that's only for events. And so yeah, you're able to mirror meetup into Guild for events and then use our Guild APIs onwards. And so, for example, you can have like a GraphQL Foundation network events API that just pulls all the events from there, pulls all the presentations from there, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we have that ability right now.
That's interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Okay, I hope I can, I'll share it soon and get all of your feedback on the rest of the website.
The events page is actually one of the pages that Jem and I have been discussing recently. We did a little bit of a tidy up of it, let's say, just before GraphQLConf, because we wanted to bring it up to date, make it work. That did involve actually removing a fair amount of the old detail because we did have like events synchronized to it, but they were really out of date. I think like 2022 style, like 3 years out of date. So we just basically removed them and just updated with our current list of known GraphQL meetups across the world. But I think it would be nice to synchronize events into that as well, so people can see here are the upcoming events and where they are. It might also be nice possibly to add like photos of events or even to link the videos where people have given presentations. So there is definitely room for a lot of improvement there. I think at the moment the map might be broken or it wasn't working quite right. So just to make you aware of that when you're factoring that into the new design, ideally a new map should be, evergreen, should continue to work forever. So factoring that in would be ideal. And in general, I think if we can do a lot of these things data-based, then we can keep them up to date by just updating Markdown files and JSON files and not have to produce new image assets and things like that. Would also be important and good. But yeah, fantastic. Thank you so much for all of the work that you and the Guild are doing on the website. It looks fantastic. We've had a lot of positive feedback on that. Yeah, thank you everyone for all of the other things that we have going on at the moment. There is a lot of progress being made. People are excited. And we saw that at GraphQLConf. There was a lot of energy in the room. Okay, well, if there is nothing else to discuss today, then I
Uh,
will call this. Go on.
Only one thing, just put a draft of the email in there if that looks no bueno to anybody, please let me know. Otherwise I'll just hit send to the governing board.
Sorry, where did you put that, Jeff? Was it in the
Sorry,
notes?
chat. Apologies. I put it in chat.
Okay, cool. We'll have a quick glance over that and get back to you after the this chat. Yes.
Should I put it in the notes? Yeah, I'll put it in the notes.
Yeah, I think if you put it in the notes so that it doesn't disappear when the meeting ends, we can get back to you, maybe via the Discord as well, and then send it.
There you go. Good call.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for your time, and see you again next month.
Thanks,
See
Benji, for
you.
meeting.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Later.